a couple conferences went by after that. I kept saying it would be the next year. On December 15th, 2022, I was still 337 pounds, and I was told that I had Hashimoto's. For those of you who don't know what Hashimoto's is, it's an autoimmune disease that can attack your thyroid, and it can affect many different areas of your life. At that point, I was napping almost every day for 3 hours a day. Not because I wanted to, but I had no choice. I could not get up. I couldn't find words to speak. The brain fog was really serious, and I chalked it up to my age. I thought, I'm getting older. It's just what happens. When I was diagnosed, and it's very common, guys, so get your thyroids checked. Not just the regular test, but the antibody test. Your antibodies are supposed to be between 0 and 59. 0 and 59. 59 is the high number. Mine were 2,347. So I had a choice. I could either stay where I was, not living my life at all, or I could change. It was that simple, and I was miserable. I couldn't work doing what I loved, and I could barely stay awake to do anything. So I thought about what I really wanted to do with my life. I decided that I was going to make some major changes, and I started with my diet. And what I've learned is that if you feel healthier, everything else gets better too. So during this time, I was working as a makeup artist. I was teaching wine and canvas painting classes, and I was selling jewelry and doing commission art pieces, and also working in a little jewelry store. I like to stay busy. So you may have even seen me lead an art project right here at the U Conference. But in March of last year, I had a pretty severe injury. I was carrying something extremely heavy, and I overstretched all the major nerves in my arm. So all three got stretched, and I didn't know it at first. So I was going in for massage and making the problem worse. Okay, so those of you who were here last year, I apologize because I whined a lot. Okay, so I couldn't do the artwork that I was doing in the same capacity. So in April, I decided to pivot. I had been a mortgage broker 16 years ago for a short time, and I've always been interested in real estate. So I contacted a friend of mine who I'd watched her grow her business for about 10 years, and I asked her if we could sit down, and she said when, and I said right now. And so the very next day I signed up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. I got licensed within 2 months. For those of you who have ever tried to get your real estate license, it is a lot. But what I proved to myself by getting myself healthy and doing the work that I can still do big, scary things. I learned that I was still intelligent, which is really big at 48. The other things that I learned was that if I fed my body properly, my brain functioned better. There was absolutely no way I would have gotten through that schooling had I not been making the changes that I was making. Okay, so I signed with Keller Williams Legacy Group, and I closed on my first house just a tick over a month after I got my license. I had so much fear going into an office and being in a more professional business setting. If you guys know me, you know my mouth. But I was welcomed with open arms, and the people that I work for right now are so kind, and it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm learning and growing and doing things that I never thought possible. And honestly, again, I go back to had I not changed things with my health, I don't think that they physically would have been possible. And I'm going to share a little story about that. Oh, I want you to see this too. So I go back to that photo and this saying, I saw this recently and it resonated so much with me because when I was first starting, or even before I started or decided that I was going to lose weight, that I was going to get healthier. I didn't want to because I've done it so many times. If you, again, have struggled with your weight, you probably know I've been on every diet. I've lost 80 pounds multiple times in my life. I didn't want to start over. It felt so big and daunting. I love this. Don't be afraid to start over again, because this time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So, what has happened through this journey is I got to meet the Mel Robbins last 3 weeks ago. She was amazing. And they have video of it. If you want to see it, it's very silly. I'm totally fangirling. This was at a KW convention in Las Vegas. Shortly after seeing Mel, there were 20,000 of us agents all bustling through the halls and trying to get to our next class. And there were escalators going upstairs, like really tall, probably as tall as these stairs here. But escalators going up were twice, I don't know, they were huge. Probably 3 times as big as I'm saying. You'll get to why I'm saying that. Okay, so big escalator going this way and a big escalator coming down. And I knew that the last breakout session that I had been in was standing room only. So I was like, oh, I really have to get there. So I'm seeing all these people and it's very crowded. Well, one of the escalators, all of a sudden people started howling, and I thought, oh my gosh, Mel Robbins has come out here and people are seeing her, whatever. It wasn't Mel. It was because people were walking up the down escalator as it was moving. I was not that ambitious. However, they stopped that escalator, and rather than take the escalator, I took the stairs. Do you guys know how big that is? It wasn't a choice I had to make. I could have waited for the escalator. It was not a big deal, but a year ago I was 337 pounds, and I chose to take the stairs. So, I know that I wouldn't have considered doing that a year and a half ago. So today I stand before you, a woman completely broken. I don't know anybody that isn't. But healing in all the ways. My relationship with God is alive and growing. I'm getting my health under control, both physically and mentally. The mental is harder. And I have a perfectly functional and healthy home that my husband and I have created for ourselves and our children. For years, I've been praying that God would allow me to shine a light in this world. My goal is to shine as my completely authentic self. I love that I have learned that shining my light does not dim yours, but it gives you permission to shine right along with me. And if you're not feeling very shiny right now, talk with me. I mean that. Let's get coffee. Let's not spend any more time wasting the blessing that we have in this life. Do it scared. Be scared and do it anyway. Be underqualified and get in the room anyway. Be messy, imperfect, unsure, and show up anyway. If you avoid failure, you also avoid success. So, I have one more thing. I'm sorry, I know. I didn't think I was like, how am I going to fill all this time? I wanted to read something else to you that I saw this morning. Somebody posted, and I was like, I'm going to share that in my speech today. And he graciously allowed me to do that. If you don't feel at least a little bit like an imposter, if deep down there isn't even a tiny hint of the question, can I really do this? Then you haven't even scratched the surface of what you're actually capable of. Feeling like an imposter isn't your sign to stop. It's a sign that you're just getting to the good part, where faith is required and miracles occur. So, I love you, and I see you.